All right, so now we're just going to see two quick slides, developing a null and alternative hypotheses. In the previous video, we saw developing null and alternative hypotheses. So this is like an example. So I think I'm going to change this and just put example. And we'll adjust the other one to also reflect this. So I'm going to bring that down and Control C it. We'll adjust the other one when we get there. So this is like an example from the textbook. And this is the publisher's presentation that they put together for us. And there's a whole lot of extraneous information here, which I just kind of grayed out. And so one of the techniques I'll use sometimes is like when I'm reading stuff, like for a problem, homework, or test, and there's extraneous information, you know, like my brain, I just don't want my brain to have to look at it and deal with it. And so I'll just like draw a line through it, like not necessary for my task at hand. And in life, that could also be a useful technique. I had a boss one time when I was young. He asked me some question, and I started to give way too detailed of an answer. And my boss said to me, Todd, don't build me a clock, just tell me the time. And I thought, that's a great description, right? Don't build me a clock, just tell me the time. So there's like way too much detail here in the grayed out stuff. So I'm just in my brain, I grayed it out, right? Like I don't need to know that stuff. And what I do need to know is what's not grayed out. And particularly what I need to know is what's in yellow. And so you can see that out of all this text, which could be confusing, like all I need to know is what's in yellow. So here, let's read it all, and then we'll focus on the important stuff, which is what's in yellow. A major West Coast city hospital provides one of the most comprehensive emergency medical services in the world. Not necessary. Operating in a multiple hospital system with approximately 20 mobile medical units, the service goal is to respond to medical emergencies with a mean time of 12 minutes or less. So this could be a little bit confusing because it feels like, oh, it's a number, I'm going to need it. But it's not like a sample size. It's not a mean. It's not a proportion. You know, like this is the mean, 12 minutes or less, right? Like that's what I'm working for. That is the service goal. I'm going to highlight that. The service goal, that's the current state. Current state, the service goal, mean 12 minutes or less. The director of medical services wants to formulate a hypothesis test that could use a sample of emergency response times to determine, don't need it. This is what we need. I guess maybe I'll take that out. I'll make that transparent. And we'll make this one transparent because that's a little bit whatever. Determine whether or not service goal of 12 minutes or less is being achieved. And so, is this being achieved right now? This is the current state, 12 minutes or less. So current state, meaning no change, is that, the null hypothesis is 12 minutes or less. That's the current state. The alternative, things have changed. They're no longer, what they used to be. And let's actually just do this. And there you get a preview of the answer. But I'm going to paste that in because I need to go copy something else. And what I need to copy is this right here. So I'm just going to copy that. And then bring that here, and I'm going to paste that in as a reminder, right? The alternative is that things have changed. There's a new state. There's change, right? We're no longer meeting the service goal of 12 minutes or less. So if we look at our null and alternative hypotheses, right? Our null is that current state is that we're meeting the service goal of 12 minutes or less. And equality, again, is in the null. And the emergency service is meeting the response goal. No follow-up action is necessary. And then the alternative hypothesis is that, right, the emergency service is not meeting the response goal. So not, right? It's not currently the thing, right? So no change. Null is no change. Alternative is change. Let me just see if that actually makes sense for what we're learning and have been learning. So the null is no hypothesis. Oh, so no is better, no change. So that doesn't meet kind of the syntax of what we've done. So erase that. The emergency service is not meeting the response goal. So there's been change. So that not doesn't really apply to the way we've been thinking about things. But the idea here that, things have changed, things have changed, is is what we're looking at, and that's things change. There's a new state. There's been changed where the service is now taking more than 12 minutes. So where mu is equal to that's the population mean, is equal to mean response time for the population medical emergency requests. So that's it. That's how you formulate the null and alternative hypotheses. That's an example, and I'm going to call that video this, and we'll see you in the next video.